Hi everyone, welcome back to Keep the Peace, and today we're gonna look at our final Ninjago Summer 2024 set review. This time we have set number 71820, the Ninja Team Combo Vehicle. This set has 576 pieces and goes for $89.99 in dollars or euros, or $79.99 in pounds. We got this set sent to us by the LEGO Ambassador Network, but I'm gonna give you my fair and honest opinions about this set. The set comes out June 1st here in Europe or August 1st in the US, and with all of that out of the way, let's get into the review. Here's everything we get in this set. With the main build of course being the Ninja Combo Vehicle, which is made up of Lloyd Off-Road Racer, the two motorcycles on the sides, as well as the little Sora Glider. We also get this little weapon stand, which is kinda separate, but it has a bit of a function for the combination feature. We also of course get a bunch of minifigures. There's Lloyd here in the driver's seat, Cole and Nya, as well as Sora on their respective seats of their vehicles. And for the villains, we of course get a Wolf Mask General and one Wolf Mask Warrior with these new huge energy claws. Let's get started by looking at the minifigures first. We have from left to right our three OG ninja in the set, Lloyd, Cole and Nya. All of them are in these new sleeveless tournament armor suits, and the overall design for these is quite similar. They all use the half mask and a hairpiece, no sleeves and this new armor piece. Sadly for Cole we're getting the normal hairpiece, while Lloyd and Nya get their hair and headband versions of the hairpieces. Lloyd is using mainly the new bright green, which is especially cool because we get a new recolor of the half mask piece in bright green. They also have this nice dragon scale print in different colors on their gis, and I think they look really nice, especially on Nya. I really like how the colors pop with the blue and the darker blue. On their shoulder they all have this metallic golden print, which ties nicely into the armor piece, and there's a little bit of an elemental design, so some rocks here on Cole, some water on Nya, and some green weird lines for Lloyd. The new shoulder armor is in gold for all three of these minifigures, and it has this nice, rather small curved shoulder pad, as well as a sword holder in the back that can hold onto katanas and these new little katanas. It also has this little molded in cord here. We get a better look at the back printing in a second, of course, when we take off some of the accessories. All of these new suits also have this little band that ends in a golden dragon emblem that's also kinda a bit element specific. On the band there are Ninjago letters. We have MOW for Nya, Master of Water, MOE for Cole, Master of Earth, and MOE for Lloyd, Master of Essence or Element. I don't know, just anything besides energy. Moving on. Printed on their legs we also have the first letter of their respective ninjas' names in Ninjago. So we have L, C and N here, and I overall just like how the print continues into the legs. I'm a big fan of how we have these little like knee pads showing up behind the actual gi. That looks really nice, and we of course also have printing on the feet. On their hips they also all have belts, and I really like Nya's here once again because it's printed in this metallic color. Just personal opinion time, I really love these suits. They might be some of my favorite ninja outfits we've had in a long time. And especially with Nya's, I'm really happy that they lean fully into the blue. I like that color combo a lot, especially for a water ninja. If we take away some of the accessories, you can see the ninjas' faces. These are just the standard faces we've had for a very long time. And these are of course double-sided here, so on the back you can see the other side of the face. And we can now also see the printing on the back of the torso. That has these nice elemental themed dragon emblems with the first letter of the ninja's name in Ninjago. A lot of people are probably wondering how Cole would look with his hair and headband piece, so I did want to show that off here. I do like how this looks quite a lot, but I also don't really mind the other hair piece. I think the bigger problem, at least for me personally, is that the headband version of Cole's hairpiece with the orange headband is still exclusive to like one island set, and it would have been really nice to have another way to get it here. Our next three minifigures are Sora, the Wolf Mask General, and the Wolf Mask Warrior. The Wolf Mask General being exclusive to the set right now, but he's pretty much just a Wolf Mask Warrior with that red armor piece. He's not really different in any of the printing. The Wolf Mask Warrior also has this back bracket piece that lets you add these energy claws to it. This new version of Sora has her dual molded hair and cat ear piece, which it's really nice to get it in more sets now. She uses a dark blue half mask and the same face she's always had, and in this set she also gets the new armor piece. Same as the other ninja, of course. We also get her wonderful printed golden arm, but this time she has a dark blue glove on both hands actually. She has a very detailed torso design with a lot of sand blue and some salmon details in the wrappings and these little stripes. And she seems to have this little golden cat themed keychain. This kind of looks like a 5, which some people are speculating is a reference to the Forbidden 5, but I'm not sure if that's true. Another detail I really like about Sora's suit are these little golden cat themed metal bits on the edges of her vest on the leg print. I think that's a really cute detail. And she also has a Ninjago S here on the leg print as well. Both our wolf warriors use the new recolor of the wolf mask piece in purple and red, which I think looks quite cool in this color scheme. They also have the same gunmetal torso and legs with red hands, and there's this purple and red details here on the middle with some silver armor that has the wolf symbol, and it features the Ninjago letters S and D in the middle section here, which I assume stands for Shadow Dojo. Here on the sides we also have these little purple area, and it has some red blades with some metallic printing on it, which also looks quite nice. I also really like the printed claws here on the feet. If we take away some of the accessories, you can now especially see the faces. The Wolf Mask Warriors use the same face they had in last wave, which I think makes sense overall. If we look on the back of these minifigures, we can see that all of them have dual-sided faces, with Sora's being more angry here, and the Wolf Mask Warriors having the blue glowing eyes and teeth. Maybe having them be red would have been really cool here. We can also see the prints on the back of the torsos now. Sora has a bigger version of that cat symbol with the 5-like shape, and the Wolf Mask Warriors have silver armor and a red wolf symbol. For all of these minifigures we of course get a lot of accessories. Our OG ninja all get one personalized weapon, so a dao with a tassel for Lloyd, Cole gets a brick-built hammer, and Nya gets this extended trident. We also get one normal katana and one of these new shorter katanas or wakizashi for each of these, and you can of course put them here in the back of the new armor piece, which works quite nicely. Sora also gets one regular katana and one of the new shorter ones, which you can see here a bit better outside of the armor piece. Our wolf guys both get 2 of these Wolverine claws. Additionally, we have these extended claws for the Wolf Mask Warriors. This use this new energy piece in trans red that connects to these plaque clip pieces, and we have 3 red claws here in the front. These can be posed up and down or rotated, and you can move the claws individually. With these claws on the back, it is a bit hard to have a minifigure stand. It can be done, but they fall over quite easily. But what I like to do is you can kind of just use the claws for stability, or of course put them on a studded area. Let's take a look at the overall combined vehicle. If we look at it from the top, we have this rather green middle section that makes up the Lloyd Off-Road Racer. This generally has this race car shape, but with the 2 big threads in the front. On the sides of the vehicle, we have the 2 bikes attached to the sides, and we have this little spoiler in the back that makes up the Sora Glider. If we rotate the model and look at it from the back, we can see we have this triple wheel here, with the 2 bike ones on the sides with rubber tires, and the Lloyd vehicle using this big plastic wheel in the middle. Here from the side view, you can also see how the bike is connected, and you can see that the front wheels of the bike kind of float above the ground in this combined form. This set does roll kinda well on flat surfaces. The treads have these little rubber add-ons for extra friction, but sometimes this kinda hinders them from rolling on very flat surfaces. On a carpet, for example, it does roll very well though. The combined model is also very stable. You don't have to worry about the individual parts falling off or anything, and it can be played with quite well. Now it's time to take the combo vehicle apart, and then we can look at the individual pieces. First, the Cole bike, which we can just pull off here from the side. The same of course applies to the Nya bike, it's just connected here on the other side. Both of them connect here on the sides with a pin and axle, as well as this little hinge piece connection. And finally, the Sora Flyer, you can just pull off the back here, it's just connected via some axles. And then we just have the Lloyd vehicle left over, which looks a bit barren without the other parts in my opinion. But let's start looking at it in some more detail. Overall, the Lloyd Off-Road Racer has two big treads in the front, with these golden double blades here in between, and this long middle body with a race car-like shape. In the back we have this one massive plastic wheel, and here on the sides we can see this is where the bikes used to connect to it. This Lloyd part of the combo vehicle rolls pretty much as well as the combined vehicle. The tracks are pretty much the limiting factor on very flat surfaces, but as I said earlier, it works quite well on carpet, and it seems to work quite well here in my little review stage too. If we zoom in on the tracks, you can see the little rubber bits that are here for some added friction, and on the sides we have these nice little green cones on the ends of the Technic construction that holds the treads. I do think the overall shape of the treads is maybe a bit high. Maybe it would have been a bit nicer if that long side was on the ground. Here we can get a little bit of a better look at the golden blades in the front. And you can see underneath we have these two little trans bright green round tiles. Sadly, you can also see some open Technic axles in this area though. We have a big sticker here on this slope area in the front with some golden technical details, as well as some writing saying team up here. There's two more symbols here which I'm not exactly sure what they are supposed to stand for. I was thinking maybe numbers, but they don't really look like any Ninjago numbers. This area is overall pretty nicely sloped with these dark green pieces here on the sides, and behind that we have some green wedge plates that of course go all around the cockpit here in the middle. There are two more stickers up here. The back one features some exhaust details, the front one features these same two letters and some golden bits. The cockpit itself is in this newer trans black, and it's just attached by a bar clip connection, so you can open it up easily. Inside we have some nice seating with these tan pieces, and with this little panel piece here in the front that lets you slide in the minifigure's feet. So if we want to put in Lloyd, we have to take out his katanas here on the back, but luckily there are some clips here on the side that can hold onto them. We do not really have a space to put the Dao sword though, sadly. And then we can put in our Lloyd minifigures in here and close up the cockpit nicely. I quite like how he sits in there. It's not really too cramped or anything, but we can actually open up the cockpit and cram the Dao sword in there, but that looks a bit dangerous. In the back here we have some more sloping to achieve that rounded shape, and these Technic linkers that connect the spoiler that kind of makes up the Sora Glider. We have these Technic pins here on the side that connect to the bikes, and of course the big plastic wheel. If we take a look at this vehicle from the bottom, it's a bit of a mixed bag. I quite like how they added those nice green slopes here on the front to make everything well rounded. But here in the back we have some open pins in black and these Technic axles here in the front. But I mean, it's the bottom, you probably won't see this a lot. The Sora Glider is a super simple build. It connects to the rest of the vehicle with this axle and pinhole here in the front. And on the bottom you can see it's super simple with just some plates, and we can also see these golden blade pieces here on the sides. From the top we can see that there is a sticker here in the middle. It has a similar design to the one in the front of the Lloyd vehicle. And on the other side we have this printed console panel we've had in a bunch of Ninjago sets before. We have this tan little plate, and this is of course where you can put your Sora minifigure, and we can just easily place the figure on here and then pretty much just swoosh it and fly it around. The flyer also has two stud shooters here in the front that can be fired. We of course have some round tiles in there, and we just push on there and we can shoot out these trans pink round tiles. The two bikes in the set are pretty much identical with only some slight color changes, so I'm just gonna talk about Nya's for now, and then I'll show you the little differences on Cole's. Overall we have one smaller wheel here in the front and one huge tire in the back. The wheels are held by these Technic constructions, and we have the seating for the minifigure up here of course. So we can easily have our Nya minifigure sit up here where she can hold onto the handlebar of course. The bike is mostly symmetrical, only the wheels kinda aren't, and it does roll really well. It's very sturdy, it's a great toy overall. In the front of these bikes we have this golden armored piece that was introduced and crystallized with two little blue cheese slopes for extra detail. From the side you can see how it attaches via this bar clip connector, and you can adjust this up and down, but I do think it looks a lot better down like this. On the sides we have these little golden bars and a little exhaust detail here in the back, and below it we can see the back wheel is connected with this long Technic beam. There are a lot of open pinholes here which are used to connect the bike to the overall vehicle. Above it we also have this little hinge plate, and this is also used for the connection. The bikes can sometimes fall over a bit easily, but it's similar to some other Ninjago bikes, you can have them stand, it's not really a big deal. The Cole bike is pretty much exactly the same, but it has some orange plates here, an orange slope up here, and trans orange cheese slopes in the front. Otherwise it's actually just exactly the same. While Cole's and Nya's trident and hammer don't really have a place on the bikes themselves, we get this little weapon stand. We have the two little clips here in the front, where we can easily attach them like this. So on the one hand, this little weapon stand where we can store the weapons, but this also has another function. If we come in here with the Nya bike, we can take the weapon stand and clip it here to the side of the bike. And then with these other pins, we can connect it to Cole's bike. And then we have this cool double bike vehicle for Nya and Cole, which connects them with the little weapon stand in the middle, which I think is really cool. It kind of creates this four-wheeled vehicle. You can drive around quite well with it. It's quite fun that you can just combine these two vehicles like this. If we put the vehicles back together, you can of course also just kind of partially combine them. Like for example, we can only have the Sora flyer connected to the Lloyd vehicle in the middle, which I think works quite well because it just looks like it has a spoiler. Then you can of course also just like add one of the bikes on one side and drive it around like that. But then finally we can also of course have the fully combined vehicle. In the instructions, they always have you have the little weapon stand here separately and not in the full combo version, which I wasn't personally the biggest fan of. I kind of think it's a bit weird that it's just loose, but you can of course just attach it to one side of one of the bikes like this, and then you have the weapons on the bigger vehicle. Of course this adds a little bit of asymmetry, but I think that's better than not having the weapons on the vehicle. There is a bunch of spare pieces in this set. I even got one armor piece, but I kind of doubt that that's normal. I don't think that's usually a spare piece. Maybe I was just a bit lucky. We also get a lot of extra katanas and half masks in different colors, and a bunch of stud shooter ammo. We have one sticker sheet, and I think for a set of this size, there aren't really that many. Only 4 stickers here, and I do think they add some nice detail. The set comes with one big instruction booklet with a little progress bar here with Nya, and one page in the back with some ads for the other sets. This set had paper bags in my copy. Before we move on to my final thoughts, I also want to give you a bit of a comparison between this and the previous Ninja combo vehicles, or ultrasonic and ultra stealth vehicles. That way you can kind of see the size comparison and how they split up in the past compared to this one. First up, we have the original Ultrasonic Raider. It is quite a bit bigger size-wise, but it basically just had like one split function where you have that flying vehicle that detaches from the main vehicle, and then you can expand the wings. After that, we got the Ultra Stealth Raider, which is to this day my favorite one of these. This one is a lot bigger. It has the flyer on top, similar to the original, which also has like expanding wings. And then we have the 2 bikes on the side that can be decoupled individually, similar to this new one kinda, only that they're in the front. Once again, everything's split. You can also transform this middle part into like this bike-like shape. So functionality wise, this one is still my favorite after all these years. Finally, we also have the Legacy Ultrasonic Raider, where you once again can take this flyer off, which I think this part actually works and looks really cool. And then for the rest, we can also decouple these side vehicles, but I always thought these looked really goofy because they have the mini wheel here on the side. And finally, you can also transform the middle part similar to the Ultra Stealth Raider, which I also think looks pretty good. This new one does some things quite differently. First of all, color-wise, I do like that it adds different colors more and it's not all just white, but it looks a bit more jumbled maybe. I also do like some of the standalone models here quite a lot, especially the bikes, but the flyer in the back is extremely small compared to what we had in the previous versions. I also think the bikes are not integrated as nicely as they were in the Ultra Stealth Raider. because they are kind of just attached to the side and don't feel as much a part of the overall vehicle. That being said, I do really like how the bikes look on their own, especially compared to the Legacy Ultrasonic Raider. Okay, it's time for my overall thoughts and opinions about this set. And just overall, I think like the build is fine. I quite like the color distribution, and the combination feature works quite well. It's pretty simple, but it works well. There's some good minifigures overall. I especially like these new ninja suits a lot, so it's cool to get 4 of them here. And we have the exclusive minifigure, which is the Wolf Mask General. But the only really exclusive thing about him is that armor piece, and I kind of hope that's going to be more available, maybe like in a magazine or in bricks and pieces, something like that, pick a brick, so more people can get their hands on it. My favorite part is these little bikes. These kind of work very well like standalone. I could see these being their own sets, and they don't really look like they're part of like a bigger combination feature. But yeah, those are the positives for me. Sadly, there's like one big negative, and that's the price. This set has 576 pieces and goes for $90, which is a pretty awful price per piece. And also like the volume of stuff, this is not that big. I don't think this is a $90 set. Also, out of these 576 pieces, 42 are these thread elements and 22 are these little rubber bits. So that's more than 10% pretty much just being the threads, which is kind of funny. I also think the combination feature, while working quite well and being pretty simple, I don't think it's as impressive as some of the previous sets that did stuff like this. My favorite is still the Ultra Stealth Raider, and that one had much more of like a transformation of the individual parts involved in the transformation, and I just feel like that's more impressive than just like clipping them together. Once again, big thank you to the LEGO Ambassador Network for letting me review all of these sets and give you all my opinions about them. It was a lot of fun. I always love doing the Ninjago set reviews, and I hope you all had fun watching them as well. Be sure to subscribe to Keep the Peace. We're gonna have a lot more LEGO content here, and especially also Ninjago cast once we get more Ninjago episodes. So see you all very soon. I've been Sakota.